All right, we're going to do a two-part lesson on prophecy in pattern. Understanding the Jewish method of biblical interpretation is crucial to understanding prophecy in Scripture. Let's go to the book of Daniel, beginning in Daniel chapter 9. We're going to read verse 27. And then we're going to jump into chapter 11 and chapter 12 real quick and kind of examining those passages a little bit. And it says in Daniel 9:27, it says, "And he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week. And for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator." Now let's go ahead just a couple of chapters to Daniel chapter 11, verse 31. And it says, "And forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and the fortress, and shall take away the regular burnt offerings, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolation." And now one more time we're going to jump to Daniel chapter 12, verse 11. And it says, "From that time that the regular burnt offering is taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1290 days. Blessed is he who waits and arrives at the 1335th day." Now the story of Hanukkah speaks of the defilement of the temple by Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes decreed that worship shall be directed towards him. And most of us here, I'm sure, know the story of Hanukkah. The prophecies of Daniel. When Daniel prophesied these words, he was speaking clearly about Antiochus Epiphanes. He was prophesying about the rise of Antiochus Epiphanes and what Israel would suffer under his reign. Right? Seems to be pretty black and white. But when we turn to the Olivet Discourse, in Matthew 24, in the prediction of the destruction of the temple, we find that maybe there's something a little bit different. In Matthew 24, beginning in verse 15, it says, "And so when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." So the prophecies of Daniel were already fulfilled in Antiochus Epiphanes. And Antiochus Epiphanes had put a pagan idol inside the temple, the abomination of desolation. And Yeshua says that the Antichrist will also put an abomination of desolation in the temple. At least that's my interpretation. However, Yeshua tells the disciples that when the temple is destroyed, there will be an abomination of desolation inside the temple, just as it was during Antiochus Epiphanes in the Hanukkah story. So we find that the prophecies of Daniel have actually been fulfilled not once, but twice. And I believe a third time at the end of the age. Because prophecy in Scripture is not simply about prediction and fulfillment, but it's about pattern. It's about pattern. We find that a prophecy is oftentimes given and it's fulfilled a number of times, sometimes 2 or 3 times. And in this case, the prophecies of Daniel have already been fulfilled twice, and possibly a third time to come. So Yeshua is referencing Daniel's prophetic words, just as the Master prophesied by the year 70 A.D. A pagan image was placed at the site of the Holy Temple when the temple was destroyed. A second fulfillment of Daniel's prophecy. When we consider prophecy, again, we think in terms of prediction and fulfillment, but we don't think in terms of those patterns. It is what I call thematic recapitulation, where a pattern of events replays the same theme out repeatedly. Rabbinical midrash oftentimes interprets prophecy as a cyclical pattern of historical recapitulation. Each fulfillment, each cycle is supposed to teach us something about the ultimate fulfillment. The ultimate fulfillment being the final focal point of the redemptive process in the end of the age.